Alright, this is the BXBALLA coming at YouTube to talk about Knicks 2010 free agency moves. So, with a positive note, the Amari Stoudemire acquisition was a good move because now you have a big man power forward that's 27 years old. He's about maybe 6'9", 6'10", maybe, from the Suns. And he's versatile. He can play the center and the power forward position. And he can score. He can score in bunches. He can give you 40 points per game, as we saw in the playoffs of 2010. Another positive move was the acquisition of Raymond Felton. Now, for the longest, all Knicks fans, even me, know that the Knicks needed a point guard. Chris Duran wasn't getting the job done. He got the job done in the first season, or the first half of the season maybe. And then after that, 8 turnovers a game, 2 points a game, shooting the ball terribly, passing the ball pretty well, getting his assists, but then getting 8 turnovers when the Knicks, as a total team, might have had like 13 turnovers for that game. He had 8 turnovers for himself. That's not good. The acquisition of Raymond Felton it brings a faster point guard, a man who can drive to the lane, break down the defense exactly like Nate Robinson did, and he can shoot the ball well, and he passes the ball also. Now, another good positive move is the acquisition of Anthony Randolph. Anthony Randolph is a 6'11" power forward. He's very thin, though. He has Tayshaun Prince's weight. He's 210 pounds. Last year he averaged 11.1 points per game and maybe like 10 rebounds a game. No, maybe like 5 blocks, maybe 4 to 5 blocks. Not that many steals either. And we also got Azubuike, who is a good small forward or shooting guard that can also shoot the ball pretty well. And then we got Turiaf, who would do well to replace the idle Eddie Curry on the bench. Now, the negative move was trading David Lee and not getting LeBron James. But in another video, I will tell you why, or I will discuss why it's a negative move not to get LeBron James. Obviously, most Knicks fans know. Trading David Lee, we lose a 20-point per game person, 5 assists per game person, or 3 to 5 assists per game person, 0.1 blocks, 0.2 steals, 11 rebounds. We lose what Shaq calls him, the human double-double. David Lee was arguably the best player on the Knicks as of this season, after Al Harrington. And speaking of Al Harrington, the subtraction of Al Harrington also hinders the Knicks because they don't have a veteran presence that they would have if Al Harrington was still on the team. Al Harrington, as you know, was traded for Jamal Crawford in 2008 in November. And he didn't do too bad in his first season with the Knicks, or his first stint with the Knicks. And Al Harrington gave us 21 points per game sometimes, maybe a few rebounds per game, a few steals, not as many blocks. So basically those are the Knicks moves for 2010, and now I will talk about their future. Now, since we failed to get another big star, with the exception of Amari Stoudemire, like Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, we failed to get those superstars, so we got Amari Stoudemire, which was good. Now in the future, we are deciding to go after Carmelo Anthony in 2011 and Chris Paul, I think it's 2011 or 2012. Now, I've been reading some news reports at the Carmelo Anthony wedding. The media asked Chris Paul, what do you think about going against the big three, which is Bosh, LeBron James, Wade? And he said he thinks it's probably going to be a challenge, but he says he thinks we can form our own big three when in reference to the Knicks: Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Paul. Chris Paul's a free agent in either in 2011 or 2012. If we get Chris Paul, then the backup for Chris Paul, most likely, since we have Raymond Felton for 2 years, backup for Chris Paul will be Raymond Felton. And the backup for Raymond Felton would be Tony Douglas. Now, with the acquisition of Carmelo Anthony, we will be getting someone who is sort of like LeBron, scoring-wise, but not really like LeBron. Carmelo Anthony of course, he can score the ball, or he can score a lot, but he doesn't really pass as much. He gets his rebounds and his points, and maybe even sometimes his blocks. He also gets his highlight reels, but he doesn't get his assists as much as LeBron would. Now, also, as I was reading earlier this week, is that the Knicks made a recent pitch to the Wizards' former small forward that can play the two, Josh Howard. I say former because he's a free agent also. So they made a pitch to him earlier this week. But he is also in negotiations with the Wizards and also in negotiations with the Knicks. So if the Knicks can get Josh Howard, they are getting a small forward that can play the two, just like Wilson Chandler. And they are getting a 19-point per game person as in Josh Howard. He's a prolific scorer also, who in his stint with the Dallas Mavericks really helped them get to the playoffs most of the time. One of the main stars on that team with Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd. Now, to sum up the Knicks' summer, it's been a pretty good one for Knicks fans. Most Knicks fans would agree it's been a good summer. The acquisition of Amari Stoudemire with a star, I was happy with that. At least the Knicks got 1 star, unlike some other teams such as the Nets and the Clippers that didn't get any stars or anybody that was worth knowing. The only person the Nets got was Travis Outlaw. Travis Outlaw's not even a star like that. So the Knicks got their star. They lost their best player in Dave Lee, but they got 2 big men, actually 3 big men, Amari Stoudemire, Anthony Randolph, Ronnie Turiaf. And also we got a new point guard in Raymond Felton, and the backup for him would be Tony Douglas, of course. And I would like to see how that tandem of point guards is going to work, since Raymond Felton can play defense pretty well, and Tony Douglas is a pretty good defensive point guard also. Now, the only problem is with the Knicks now is that they need a shooting guard. We can put Wilson Chandler at shooting guard, but then also we need a small forward. But I don't know. They might put Danilo Gallinari at small forward, put Anthony Randolph at center since he's tall, or maybe they might switch Stoudemire and Anthony Randolph. I don't know at this point. But the way the Knicks lineup looks as of right now for the 2010 fall, the 2010-2011 season is point guard Raymond Felton, shooting guard. If they don't re-sign T-Mac, it's going most likely to be Wilson Chandler. Small forward, Danilo Gallinari or Wilson Chandler. I don't know where they're going to go with that as of this point. Power forward, either Amari Stoudemire or Anthony Randolph. And center, either Anthony Randolph or Amari Stoudemire. Now, the backup center would definitely be Ronnie Turiaf. I don't think the Knicks might put Turiaf as starting center with Amari Stoudemire in the paint. He's going to be a dominating presence, but I don't know. Turiaf really can't score as much maybe as Randolph can. And now since the Knicks got Randolph, he might get more exposure as a bigger center than power forward. So Knicks fans, you can tune in this fall to MSG, of course, and check out the Knicks. Keep checking out the Knicks moves, and that's basically it. And soon I will be making a video about LeBron's decision as a Knicks fan's perspective, and also with Jay Free from a Cavs perspective. So this is the BX Baller signing out.